It's a very, very small group of people, many of them clueless.
Hi, everybody. It's Gene Simmons, and you're not. This is Kiss My Collectibles podcast, but you know that.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Kiss My Collectibles. I am one of your co-hosts, Jason Herndon, and with me, as always, is this guy I'm adding to the stage, Nicholas Buckland.
Hello. I've jumped into Joe's spot because he's not here.
We fired Joe.
We fired Joe, yeah, but we always fire him.
That's right.
Yes.
So, Nicholas and I are jumping on to record our first episode in, I think, 6 months, maybe.
Been a while, yeah.
A long time. It's the semi-annual episode of Kiss My Collectibles. So
Yes, exactly.
that's right. So this week we're going to do a something we haven't done in a long time, and people have been asking me, when we were ever going to do one again. And, we've been trying to get this guy on for, 5 years. He finally figured out how to use a computer, so we're able to get him on. But we're going to do a collector spotlight with our friend from the Swede, Per.
The technician.
That's a technician. Per, welcome to the show again. I guess your second time on.
Thank you.
Yep.
Nice to be here.
Yes. So
yes,
we're gonna just, if anybody remembers the old Collectibles episodes, we're just gonna go down memory lane with Per and talk about, how he got into kits, collecting, and maybe he'll show some cool items that he has, because, this guy's kind of a, I'd like to think, this is how I think of him anyway. He's kind of a legend in the collecting community, and he's been doing this for a very long time, and he has one of the most amazing collections out there, and I rely on him a lot for his expertise. And you guys may also know, recently, past couple of years, he's been working with Elaine from Japan. And
Is that's because you tried to not say Alan. You changed to
That's
Elaine.
right. I actually usually call him Alon. Now I call him Alon, but I know Per calls him Elaine, so it's Japan. But they've been doing these books, the Demons of Rock books, on collecting, and they're just fantastic. And they just had a recent one come out. They've been doing magazine covers, and I guess the Canadian and U.S. magazine cover magazine had just came out.
That's the last one. I actually flipped through that one. People think that I get the first copy, maybe, but that's not how it works. So I see the first copy, it's online, and then I say, "Oh, that looks great," and then it takes another 2 weeks, and I have one. And so now I have one. Before, and this one here is a heavy load for the shoulders to just have made. It's insane trip down magazine lane. This one here, just out.
Wow.
And I've been collecting magazines for many years, but when you're not buying much and you're not really finding anything more than whatever comes out new, the old ones you're missing never pops up, and you have my memory. You basically just forget a ton of stuff, and then if you know a little bit about American music magazines in the 70s, that's a shitstorm beyond. It's seriously loads and loads and loads of covers. What's not a cover? How much do we put for a cover? Are we just going to go with 50% firm, or are we going to let some slide? And what's this and what's this? And that's a big decision in itself. But then you see all the magazines are just the same like I said, when we did the European book, many of the European covers that I like more than the Americans are because the images used are often different and unique to a magazine. The American magazines during the like 77 to 79 use basically the same images
Right.
and the same superstars. It's Nugent or it's Meatloaf or it's Rod Stewart or it's Bruce Springsteen, and they mix and match all this fantastic cut and paste covers.
Right.
So your head is just spinning after you've gone through one of the letters. When you reach like R, because everything goes alphabetic, and you go into this Rockmania, Rock this, Rock 15, Rock Collection Rock. I was like, it's a never-ending story. To be honest, I have no idea if Gene ever reads this, but I think he's in for a wild surprise, even if he kept a lot of the magazines over the years. But insane route,
Right.
insane.
Right.
So that's a fun thing to finally have finished. It's one of those things I wanted to do long time.
Did you find when you were collecting magazines that when you first started, they came thick and fast, and then you go through this big gap? You go, well, now I've just got my most wanted left, and they can take 6 months to find even just one magazine. See, your collecting actually goes to a stop, and then it's just wait till that comes. And
I think it's like basically everything when when you go deep in and you just want to collect in a way that you want. Everybody wants everything. Everybody's going to say like, yeah, I'm just going to try to stick to these. I'm going to try to stick. That's just bullshit, because sooner or later you're going to be like, I want this one. And then you've done one country. Take Jason, for instance. He started with, I'm going to do US. And then finally he finds one weird record from one country. And then he goes like, I want the rest of those. And it just rolls on. Because that goes with all of them, basically. So when I started and you bought like the normal magazines in a way, the ones that you see often. I remember I got like a pop from Pop Rock Mexico, maybe 1 or 2 covers, Discotheque or something of the Mexican 70s, 80s magazines. And at that time, I remember I emailed Jacques Van Gool and asked, I already terrorized him with simple questions. How many 16 magazines covers are there, and blah, blah, blah. And he gladly helped in the beginning. And after a while, when I got irritating enough, he was like, now, Per, now you need to settle down, and now you try to figure this stuff out yourself. Because there's a ton of them, and half of the magic is just finding out how many and what and this and that. So when you go over that gap that you're talking about, you go deep into one country. You pass through, in a way, you find a friend in that country. You find a magazine friend in Australia, and then you empty him on information or help, and you help him if he luckily collects Sweden stuff. You can trade, you can sell, or whatever, and you just search for the information. And when you have all that put together, you have like a template to find stuff. But just like any other Kiss collector knows that when you think you've seen it all, you're not even close. So there's popping up new stuff all the time.
Sure.
And that's the amazing thing with Kiss, basically.
It's funny with vintage stuff because there's a guy, and I won't sort of out his name because it's kind of making fun of him, but he's always writing to me and goes, hey, can you have a look and see if you can find any, you're in Australia, can you see if you can find any Eric Carr, Paul's Variety wrappers around while you're out and about? I'm like, where are you thinking these are coming from? Like, yes, I do live in Australia, but you just think, so I'll walk down to the shop. Oh, there's one,
There's one.
It's like literally, you've got better chance of finding them in a totally different country from some collector selling them.
Right.
Then
you will in your home country. It's just, can you find me this poster? I'm going, no. And if I found it, I'd be keeping it.
That's
now
right.
I'm laughing, but I bet I've done that one. Not maybe in that way, but I remember asking, not too many years ago, asking people like, do you have a used record store that carries magazines or used books and magazine stores? Do you have any of those around? And then we're like, no, never. Because we had, when I grew up, when I moved to Norway, stayed there for 17 years and came back, they were all gone. But we had, like, you bought comic books, new stuff, used stuff, records, CDs, DVDs, and all those kind of shops.
We still have those kind of shops here in the U.S. The problem is they're not like they were in the the 70s, 80s, and even the 90s.
Yeah.
They're just not. Anything. The unfortunate thing is a lot of them are robbed of anything really good, rare, collectible, because any owner or manager of a store, when they run across something or something comes into their shop that's rare, it never hits the sales floor. It goes to eBay. And
or they have a customer lined up, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you get more money for it, than just the local guy walking in, wanting to pay $14 for some vintage magazine when they can get $125 for it on eBay. It's a no-brainer. That's why all of the good vinyl and stuff like that. Most of the stores have a whole entire eBay team, and none of the good shit ever hits the floor.
No. Yeah, like even going to like a record fair now, you can usually bet that before it they've checked. Like even talking to one of the guys, and he wasn't even a Kiss guy. He goes, oh, if I find that the white double platinum for you, but he's just saying that because he already is. He's not even a Kiss fan, but he knows about these rare records, and he knows that won't be hitting the bins for $5. He'll go found it for you, but he'd charge you.
I mean, that shit happened, and it probably happens still. But the amount of time, the amount of moments it's actually happening, it's just extreme.
It's very few and far between. You'd have better luck here in the States. I assume they have these everywhere in the world, but here in the States we have yard sales and neighborhood.
Yeah. I think they're bigger on your side, but here as well.
But you'd be more apt to find something rare at a yard sale because those people don't know what they have. But when you start dealing with record store owners, they're on the internet
Today,
like we are. They know, so
they have an eBay account, and they have all those things that the old stores that they didn't have. They had to call somebody to see what. I have a Japanese record here with Beatles. What's this? Is this good or is it just regular shit?
That's right.
Now you can go out on WorthPoint, or you Google it or whatever. You find out if you have some brains. But so I mean, the last time when you hit stores and you find surprises, those times they're like not many these days.
Correct.
Like you say, far in between. But the last time I went for just what the hell, I'm here, I might as well look, was on the cruise. I can't remember what year, but the Kiss cruise that left from New Orleans. We drove out to thrift stores because we were looking for something that my body wanted. So we just passed through, Googled thrift stores, and we just dropped in here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one big one that he went in, and I was outside, probably having a smoke. Right over there, it says antique shop or something. And I just walked over the street into that shop. And at the far end, there's records. I was like, I know this is going to be 900% just bullshit in here. And it's maybe something fun. It was 100% the opposite. It was just good vinyl.
Yeah.
And the prices were like 20, 25, 35, something like this. I was like, this is fair. They were sorted in metal and hard rock and this and that, but not by letters. So I found like creatures alive, and then a bunch of Maiden, on and on and on. The last record of all was Dynasty with the arrow cover, the one with there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like $25.
Yeah, see, those are much easier to pass off because not as many people know about those as far as shop owners go.
No, maybe, This is, at least this is 6 years ago. Right? fine.
Yeah, it's easy to
I
miss.
mean, if you're not paying attention, you could pick it up out of a bin and not
Easy to miss,
really look
right?
and
Yeah.
spray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
kind
funny.
of the same thing.
It's funny you say, $25, $30. These are fair prices, but 20 years ago, walking into a thrift store, records
Yeah.
were a quarter, 25
Yeah,
cents,
yeah.
50 cents.
I mean, I have buddies who bought like the promos, the classic US promos, for like less than $1 and
Right.
$1.50 and stuff like this. Basically, because they couldn't sell it because it was a promotional record. But then again, nobody wanted it.
Right.
It's worth absolutely zero.
That's
But
right.
I mean, I think I can't remember the price tag on it, but the first white Aussie double platinum I bought on a whim as well, because we were driving and there's a record store in Mooloolaba, a small shitty town in a place of nowhere, where our car broke down, and that took about 5 hours to fix. And the city we were in took 35 minutes to walk around. And so I went to the guy and asked, is there any record stores? And it was the next town over has a record store. So I grabbed a cab and I went there and I bought a white double platinum for $250. I was
Wow.
like, this is good. He was super pleased with the whole thing, because this is close to 20 years ago. So $250. I have no idea, Nick, if that's a fair price back then.
Yeah, I mean, you would think even earlier than that they were probably turning up and no one even noticing that they were rare. But yes,
Right.
but by that stage, 250 sounded like. I mean, that's still rarer record, not crazy rare records. But if you go to a record store and something's slightly hard to find, it's usually that 200, 250 anyway, isn't it?
Right.
Like if I get stuff if I've seen stuff, what was I was trying to find for Alison, because she's a huge fan of the movie Dead Man. And I think Neil Young did the soundtrack, and that's about 200. So it's not stuff that's crazy misprint, one of a kind stuff.
Yeah.
But I think 250 is that kind of, it's a rare
And this
record.
is
That's
20
not
years
normal.
ago, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So that's probably worth that'd be equivalent to saying about $400 now, maybe something like that. But it's definitely not a $3,000 record. It's not very best of Japan kind of, one of those kind of records, is it?
Yeah.
I remember running across, I still own it today, my white label promo of the first album in a record store in probably 94, 5, somewhere in there. It was $200. I remember going, oh my God, $200.
And I bet there were how many picked that up and said 200 for this.
Whoa, look at that idiot. That idiot just paid $200 for this record. We couldn't give it away. It probably sat in the store for 10 years or something.
It was price marked like 87. At the hype of the absolute worst period, in my opinion.
Right.
Going on to when Kiss started to take over again with 92 lineup. And between there was, I bet there was 1,000 guys who picked that record up.
Sure.
And said, $200.
It's so funny we talk about this, because I can remember everybody drink. My buddy Danny Dabbs got a fucking pinball machine in 1990 or 91. I think he paid $250 for it, and you hear stories like that in the late 80s, early 90s all the time with these pinball machines. It's like, I got one for $200, $300 or something like that, and it blows my mind. You couldn't give that stuff away back then. You just couldn't.
No. And especially go first.
There you go. No, I was just saying, even when I bought a whole bunch of that Aussie stuff from that one collector, I was kind of going, $200 for a Vitabrits box, like all this kind of stuff, which, that was a steal now that I look back at it. But I kind of go, at the time I'm going, really? And then for the 4 ice block wrappers, got like $50 for those. It's like, but now you look back and go, you walked away out of that place with just like almost half of the rare Aussie collectibles all
Right.
in one go. You know, I think I paid $850 for just pretty much everything. Like, you know, that was but
But it
that
was
was a
still
lot of money, and
$850.
but I said that's a lot of money, getting close to $1,000 for
Yeah.
KISS stuff. You know, it's kind of like bringing it home to the family. What'd you buy? Magic beans. It's like Jack in the Beanstalk,
Yeah, right.
you know, because you're showing them.
Right.
I bought an ice. I bought some ice blocks. I bought a mirror. I bought a Vitajuice box. You know, but
Yeah.
And now just one of those items in
One
that
of those,
whole
yeah,
box is
exactly.
worth $850 or more. You know,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
exactly.
it's unbelievable.
Easily, yeah.
So
All right,
that's,
well, before we get into a bunch of stories, let's do some house cleaning. Nicholas, you want to
Yep.
talk about a few new things?
Oh yes, I think we'll just talk about the new things that were released this week. I'm not sure.
Confession. No.
I was trying to time that perfectly, and it didn't.
Okay, yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, basically, as everyone knows, I've got the zoomed out version. I think the first thing was the picture disc.
Yep.
The Dynasty thing, which I've just shown it here with the baseball or baseball-esque jersey.
Mhm.
So I'll zoom into. So this one sold out like they all did, with the plastic bag.
Mhm.
And I was actually going to, I don't know why I didn't ask this before we went on air, but I may as well reveal that I actually don't know a few of the smaller details. Is the treatment of the cover the same on that as it is on this? Are they different between that and that version?
It's a good question. You know, Tom, I'm sure you saw Tom Germond's comment.
I read
about
that comment.
And he said, you know, you'll be pleasantly surprised with the treatment of the jacket. And I don't know if he's referring to both of them or, you know, one of them. Because usually with these anniversary releases, one of the jackets has some kind of foil treatment, something special to it or something like that.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
You know, and one is just a tip-on, you know, where
Foil could be nice on this one.
So
like the debut one. One had the little stick on
the rhinestone thing,
the rhinestone thing, and then but then the other one had the silver in it, didn't it?
Correct.
Including on
Yeah,
Ace's
the
makeup.
silver. I would say I would prefer the rhinestone. I mean, it's up to.
I didn't like that effect that much, but
yeah.
The first thing I thought about, that's going to leave a mark.
That's right. It's going to be tough to store. You've got to figure out how to store that, you know?
Yeah.
Well, my bugbear about that one was only because they're all even.
Right.
And I don't mean even dots. What I meant was the original one had like parts of it was reflecting and parts wasn't reflecting, like you would if you pass a light over like diamonds, you get bits that shine and bits that don't shine. But when they put that effect on it, they're all perfectly even. So you haven't got bits shining at you. It's just all it's basically like all white or clear. Is it clear? Clear kind of. Yeah. I haven't seen the actual one, but is it actually? They're actually clear diamonds, aren't they? Well, they're not diamonds.
No, they're just little plastic decal kind of thing.
Yeah. But my problem is they all look the same, so it's just
that's right.
White kind of logos. I didn't personally like. I like the idea. I love the idea that they try new things. So I'm never against the concept of, because everyone's got copies of the record. I love that every time they try and do something new with them, like with the Alives, with the blue and with the had the die cut thing in it. That's cool. I love they still try, but I always say sometimes they're not as successful as others.
Sure,
I didn't particularly like it, but I like the idea of it, but I didn't like the treatment of it, I guess.
Yeah, and I just wonder, I mean, of course, the original logo is, I mean, those, as far as I know, those were real rhinestones or some kind of stone, reflective stone, and you're taking a picture of it, and so you're getting flash colors and things like that. Plus, they're not all the same size, that sort of thing. I mean, how do you replicate that without individually? I mean, it's a painstaking process to do. I mean,
I want Tom German to sit there with a glue gun and just everywhere. Literally.
I think that's how it was.
And he looks behind him, and there's like 4,000 behind him.
That's right. I think when I was talking to Tom, though, I think he said that wasn't his idea. That was somebody else's idea, and they did that. off the cuff, and that he had
That old one. It's like,
Yeah,
that wasn't me. It's like,
that was
wait. Do you like it or do you love it?
Yeah.
You don't like it? Those Universal guys.
Sounds like an old kitchen manager to me. He always had the best ideas about dishes, and then when he presented it, it was like, so when you guys do this, I was like, bop. When we do this, you are included in this. It's not we doing your shit.
That's right.
And he was like,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
true. When we do this, and then he just went off anyway.
Yes.
Just easy to do all this. It's going to be super duper fancy.
Yeah.
Bye, guys, and you leave.
Right.
Good luck with that. Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
So we had the picture disc come up, limited 500. It's a double-sided picture disc, comes with the poster. Tom designed this cool retro
Is
bag.
it folded?
It doesn't look folded, but I would say it has to be folded, right? Isn't it going to go on the record? I mean, that's been the question.
I have no idea. The other ones come round.
They just trim it down. I would no.
And then they can fit that in there,
right? And then they did the colored vinyl version of it. I believe one of these is a foil cover. I can't remember. I think this is I don't know. One of them's a foil cover. You've got this is very reminiscent of the old Destroyer anniversary edition that had the swirl black and red color, which is really nice. You want to talk about the rest of the stuff, Nicholas?
Oh well, I was just going to say that. So he said that the actual cover he's used some of the sharpening treatments,
right,
to get it a little bit better. And I mean, you've probably heard me go on about just this in general. It's like we're in this weird modern era where we care so much about things are half speed mastered, and we're trying to get 180 gram vinyl, and this is the best quality master of this that we can get in the modern age. And then unfortunately, due to the switch over from film to digital printing, somehow all the artwork was lost. So you're getting, and this is not just KISS, but you get anything with photographs, it ends up being a scan of a scan. Like if anyone who picks up Dynasty or picks up, especially Unmasked, if you look at Unmasked, it's all really, really soft, and it's like, I think they've even redrawn the cartoon lettering. If you actually have a look at it, it's really, really, really bad. The 2014, like terrible. Everything's all soft. The Creatures of the Night, I held up the original one I had versus the new one. It's all soft. No one's done anything wrong. They just don't have the artwork anymore. My modern Queen ones are terrible, like compared to the original ones that I've got. And I'm not saying no one cares about it, but a lot of people go, it doesn't matter, But I kind of go, it's weird that we're getting the best quality sound with, and we're just kind of going, I guess that's what happened when they threw all this artwork out, when we switched to digital.
I remember when the 2014 first came out, and we were talking about how they were created, and they really were just rescans of old covers that were touched up. And you're dealing with scanning technology, and one thing that always bothered me about the first LP is it's not rich black. It's like a faded out kind of like a, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just not
weird
black.
lighting. Yeah.
And so I know you notice that with all of the blacks on a lot of the records, the black coloring is not as dark and rich and all that stuff. And so I agree with you. There's definitely some
And then when they try and correct that, if on a modern one, they may lose some of the picture quality by darkening off the blacks. They may lose some of the details, but.
Right.
Yeah, I know that's just a small bugbear, because I kind of go, it's a shame we haven't got pin sharp, the best recreation of the cut, but stuff like Rock and Roll Over, where it's in illustration, it's perfect,
Right.
It's just the photographic ones, like we get a big photo of the band, I really notice it. Creatures is way soft if you hold up your original and hold them up together and have a look at the photo, and there's so much detail lost.
I mean, what they didn't do is what Joe and I did on those Slaughter releases was we went back and found the original photographer, and licensed when we could, the original images
Wow.
and rescanned those original images, and they just didn't go through that trouble
Yeah.
when they were and not just Kiss, any band, they just didn't go through that
Yeah,
trouble.
yeah.
They're not going back and grabbing the original photos and rescanning them and recreating the actual jackets. They're just scanning old jackets.
The Kiss ones was sold, right? Didn't they sell that on the Kiss auction thing? Like the original artwork photos.
I have seen it in
stuff.
people's collections, yeah. But
I want to say they did.
Yeah, but you would still have original.
the photographers.
The
file,
photographers would have the original.
Yeah,
If
true.
we're talking about images that people took.
Except the Dynasty, which was that's like about 30 images apparently, like airbrushed together. So
right,
you need the original, whatever the final piece of artwork was.
That's right.
Of the actual cover, but
all the cut and paste kind of stuff.
Yeah, like with Peter's got the weird eyebrow, like one bit of the makeup's higher than the other because of that. Oh yes, okay. Well, from here then as we know, there was a bunch of shirts released, and I just pulled out 3 things that I noticed. There was this one, which was I noticed they're not using the photos. They've redrawn the illustrations. Are these from Per? Can you remember? Are these from? These illustrations were in some ads.
The patches,
weren't they? Yeah,
absolutely
right,
the patches. Yeah,
yeah. Because I knew I recognized them from somewhere. I knew they would look like they were the vintage merchandise. Yeah. Okay, the patches is where they're from.
The UK stuff. Yeah, especially
and they had
Ace one. Yeah, all of them now when I look at them. Yeah.
Yes, they look like the patches. Okay, and then we haven't had a mirror for a while. I went back to everything Kiss and had a look, and it was I think 2011 was the last time they've even released a mirror. So here you can do your shaving and pretend you got 4 guys in the room with you, kind of thing. Yeah, great. Kind of worked as a mirror. Some of those mirrors they put so much graphics on that you can't even use them. But exactly.
I want to say that this one, if Tom is listening, I would have done this one. Rectangular instead of square and drop the Kiss logo.
Tom doesn't do these. Tom doesn't do these.
He doesn't do the merchant.
He doesn't do that. Okay. I don't know.
No, it's
whoever did this. It looks good, but the other one would have been better.
It's very reminiscent of a Carnival mirror. I bought it. I thought it was cool because of that. It doesn't say Dynasty on it, which I think would have been cool, but
better than the Kiss logo.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I only just read it while I was researching this episode, as I do research. But
of the recent
I think it's only 10 inches. It's not very big. The mirror.
The mirror.
I think the mirror is only 10 inches. I think so.
That'll be a small.
Let me have a look.
The Love Gun Destroyer ones, those are 12 by 12, right?
Yeah, like a vinyl.
Let's have a look. I'm just going. Yeah, 10 inch by 10 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's much smaller.
Smaller.
It's very much reminiscent of the little Carnival mirrors.
Yeah.
Those were, I think the Carnival mirrors were kind of 8 by 8, so it's kind of in between. But I don't know. I still think that's cool.
Yeah.
For $20.
It fits in the cabinet. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you buy it and then
some artists now release 10 inches now, don't they?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like
and then
the recent stuff. I haven't really been following the vinyl thing now because I kind of dropped out, and then with my bad memory I have no idea what I bought, and then I just kind of zoned out a little bit, so I kind of dropped the ball in a way.
You just depend
I didn't pay attention basically.
You just depend on Steve Allen to keep you up to date, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He knows, and he doesn't know. He goes like, I think I have, and then I will check on that 2.5 months later. Sorry, Steve. I will check on this. I will check on this. He moves in the same concrete speed that me. He's like, you feel that? And it's just solid. Nothing happening.
I operate under it's like, do I want these, or do I want these? Get up at 3 a.m. to buy them. Enough, and I never falls under that. Because I always wake. I made a joke on the page. I said, yeah, I know, but I made a joke on the page going. I go, every time they come out, I always go, I love to wake up in the morning and go, oh, what was sold out last night? Kind of like it's always the picture disc or something like that. But it's always by the time because obviously if I collected them, I'd stay up. But
Dude,
because I don't, I go, oh, this will be interesting.
I'm on top of it. I figure out the hidden buy links before they ever go live. Make sure everybody in Kiss My Wax has them, knows what's going on, and then every hour on the hour. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm refreshing. If it doesn't show up 5 minutes after the hour, I come back on at the next hour, and then when it pops up, I buy mine, and then I go tag everybody and say it's live. Go,
it's live.
It's been a jungle when it comes to that. It is, but I like, to be honest, this one here. I saw the posters for the first record. I like what Tom did or whoever did it.
He did do that.
He did that with a Milo version and two kind of different prints of the first poster in a good way. It still displays well and it sends the message, but it's not it's not just a copy of the old one.
Correct.
In a way, right?
Yeah.
And Dynasty too. I like you said, T-shirts. I like they used the T-shirts that actually not official T-shirts. Like that one.
That's an old parking lot shirt.
Parking lot T-shirts, yeah. And just taking the old stuff and making it new in a way.
I saw a bunch of people complaining about that. This shirt is horrible. Look how terrible the graphics are. And I'm like, this is
but that's the point.
Vintage parking lot shirt.
Exactly.
How cool is it that they're doing that? And I just don't get the hate.
That's the point of the whole thing. It's supposed to be shit in a way.
Right.
It's supposed to be.
Go back to a lot of 70s merchandise and really have a look at the quality. He kind of goes, some of the illustrations were bad, but they're kind of they're cool because I always call it like a naive style. It's like they're not doing photo real. They're just exactly.
Have a look at the Aussie T-shirts. The T-shirts are 1980 Aussie. Like if I say 15 different designs, 12 and a half sucks ass. The two other ones are nice.
Exactly.
But they suck ass in a nice way. I mean, they're fun. Kind of like why does Ace look like it's a 3-year-old drawing of him? He's supposed to look like that here.
Right.
Yeah. That's how he looked back then.
That was our best artist.
Exactly. I know Tommy has an ad that I want to buy from him. The Peter Criss one in that ad, the way it's drawn, I think I could have drawn that better passed out, to be honest. It's unreal. It looks like if you could put electricity through the Aussie Peter Criss mask, so the hair was going to curl even more and stand up like this. It kind of looks like that. It looks like, if you want to say shit, that's very close to exactly what it looks like. But it's so fucking amazing little ad.
Right.
I really want it. And he keeps it because the same reason. So that's the charm of the whole thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. You want to show that robe and then we'll move on?
Oh yes, the very last one is. I don't know what more to say about it, but it's like
It's a unisex. Somebody said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can have it, Nick. You can share it.
Yeah, I could be wearing it. Yeah, I could be wearing
unisex.
it.
So.
Well, I'm in my pajamas. I'm in my pajamas anyway because I'm going to bed after this.
Ready for bed.
Okay, I got my teddy here.
He'll be snoring.
I should have found my Kiss one, but exactly.
Do we want to do a what's in the box, or do we want to just move on into Pear's thing?
Do we want to do what?
What's in the box?
Well,
what's in the box?
I don't have anything because I'm not at home. But maybe Jason can show his greatest thing that he just bought, and then we'll go into Pear stuff.
That's right.
I'm gonna open it.
Oh, what's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
There you go.
I'm actually not going to open it because I'm going to do I think I'm going to film an
this
opening.
Is sealed, and you all know why.
Yeah, and but I, like a dumbass, I bought both versions of these things, and
the 666.
So get get ready to laugh, but there it is.
Yeah.
Features of the
That's
I
great.
mean, whatever floats your boat. All the, like Mike would have
That's cool.
said on
This
three
is
sides
heavy.
of the coin. It's,
And I
Look how-
got, if you didn't see my
Look how
post-
wide it is. Look how wide
Awesome.
it is on the spine. It's huge.
yeah.
Oh yes, sorry. I'll go into that. Sorry, I realized you're showing the showing the number.
Yep. So if you
If we
didn't see
can
my
see it,
post
yeah.
in wax,
Made in the Czech Republic. Oh wait,
Yeah.
666 is the number.
66. That is pretty cool.
But this is the glow in the dark version. I do have the black version. The black version's open. The jackets.
What's the difference between just the glow? Are they the same thing or?
Yeah, the vinyl. There's the cheaper one, the $600 one. Is black vinyl, and then this one is glow in the dark vinyl, and that's why the hype sticker is kind of neon green, kind of looking. The hype sticker on the other one is gray.
Did I see the other day that somebody said on one of the Kiss My Wax posts that that glow in the dark vinyl reduces sound quality?
Yeah, that's somebody said that.
Or is that not true?
I don't know about glow in the dark. I can tell you this, just from working with a company that is owned by a pressing plant. There's a lot of conversation about picture discs and stuff like that and sound quality. And picture discs.
I was just going to say that.
Picture discs in the 70s and 80s were shit. They have, I wouldn't say perfected, but they have certainly made picture discs much better.
I hope.
They sound way better now. They don't sound as good as a nice 180 gram
Absolutely
thick
not.
deep groove. Of course not, because it's it's pressed into a little thin sheet of kind of almost plastic,
That's going to make the grooves less deep.
The grooves are less deep and all that stuff. However, the quality is far superior to 70s and 80s picture discs. If you're an audiophile, you're not buying a picture disc now or anything. It's more of a novelty than anything, but they sound way better now. Now, as far as the age-old argument of does black vinyl sound better than red vinyl or green vinyl or whatever, it's all colored vinyl. Black vinyl that records are pressed in, it's not black, it's clear.
Yeah, what color is it? It's clear? Okay.
So black vinyl is a color.
Something wrong with your mic.
Something's wrong with
they're getting the buzz.
Yeah. You have some static.
That's what I was hearing the whole time. That's what I was hearing before.
Maybe that's why I can't hear it.
Yeah.
How about now?
Yeah.
Is it buzzing?
Yeah. No.
I wonder if it's a cord. I'll have to listen back now. Watch this whole thing be, a buzz. So, well, just hit me up. Hit me if you hear that again. Anyway, even black vinyl is technically colored vinyl because it's all dyed to some degree. Yeah. So, as far as I know, any discussions I've ever had and any comparison I've ever had, there's no difference in colored vinyl and all that stuff. Now, the process to make glow in the dark vinyl is very different than colored vinyl, and I don't know much about it. So I can't tell you if it reduces sound quality or not.
They get it from Chernobyl.
That's right. Yeah. Shipped straight in from Chernobyl. But it's a novelty
item.
The
dark vinyl, but I'm dying of cancer now.
Yeah. Again, it's a novelty item. So you put it on and spin it, and it glows in the dark. It's Creatures of the Night. It's fucking cool, man. I don't care if it sounds.
Yeah,
exactly. I think it's good. Sounding versions of Creatures.
Yeah,
of the
exactly.
Night, So
I still have that thing as an argument when it comes to this. When I started collecting Kiss, I started with vinyl and not vinyl. It was 45s. That was my first true love when it came to this. The amount of time I spent listening to my 45s, I would have to say is less than an hour, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I look at that vinyl and I look at it and it looks good and it looks crisp. I put it back in the sleeve and I buy another one.
That's right.
If I want to hear my Creatures of the Night, I'll probably put that on a vinyl that I had a listening X, just shitty whatever, Japanese or US first press, that I just used for listening.
Sure.
When I got too lazy and the needle didn't find a new needle or the cord on the rubber thing on the vinyl player, I moved over to CDs. And then when I moved, I dropped all my CDs in Sweden and I got Spotify. And I started to listen to that because I remember exactly how that song sounds.
Mhm.
And if I want to hear it again, I can listen to it on vinyl.
Mhm.
But all the other Creatures of the Night that I bought since then, I haven't listened to any of them. I can be honest and say
Yeah, that's true, and that's a good discussion to have because my buddy Pat Lucero, who I love dearly.
Yeah, but
Pat,
he plays his record.
he plays every single record. He doesn't just play it. He goes through a meticulous process of cleaning it and storing it properly and all of that stuff, but he plays every single record. If I'm going and buying, a Venezuelan version of or Ecuador, that's been in the humidity for 45 years, I don't care what that record sounds like. I'm collecting that particular version of that record to tick off a box in my collection. I don't care what that sounds like. I don't give a shit what that sounds like. Like I said, I have superior sounding pressings of that record. If I want to listen to it on vinyl, I'll put that version on, or I'll listen to it on Spotify. This is.
And I mean,
not every record is audiophile quality. It's just not.
No, and I mean, I have plenty of friends who buy all the started collecting bootlegs when I started collecting bootlegs. I mean, Arjen in Holland, he still buys. He's still looking for just a better, like Nick said before, a better quality of that concert. He doesn't buy the fancy boxes and shit because they look good. He's after the source. So he's the guy who actually listened to all, like Pat. He listened to all the records.
Yeah,
but he's also
Pablo's like that too.
Yeah, it might be. I mean, that you have those guys, and all credit to those guys because they have a player out and they have the time and they enjoy the fucking thing. And but then you have, as soon as you go online with this stuff, it just rattled the masses in a way because some guy, you can't buy 200 vinyl a year and not listening to it. So I've done that for 20 years. It works perfect.
I do it all the time.
I do it all the time. And I mean, what the fuck? It's up to my choice and the other guys. I mean, when I enjoy to see Pat's post discos today, and it's always fucking signed covers.
Oh yeah,
all
Pat's met
bands.
everybody.
No envy there, no envy. And I mean, I enjoyed. I get occasional shit from Arjen when he says, "You need to post more. You did before. What the fuck?" And he do this constantly new stuff. It is from cassettes to magazines to vinyl to Kiss to Rainbow to Black Sabbath to this. And I enjoy every bit of it. I do. And then maybe I start posting again. But you see, all the thing today is hard to figure out when it comes to this because people dare and do not dare to post because they're scared in a way what others might say. I'm luckily I don't give a shit whatever anybody says. I just do basically what I want. But that brings down the mood in a way, and that's kind of the thing that got me out of the vinyl per se thing because it's too much. It becomes too much back and forth about this is a good press, this sounds like shit, this is good, this is not good. All that arguments and all that stuff.
I mean, for many collectors, I'd say that almost like vinyl collecting becomes a little bit like magazine collecting because a lot of you're not really playing each copy, but you're basically owning 12-inch squares, which are different kind of in some ways, like artwork, because you're going, aren't you? Like if you're looking for variants, you're going, oh, it's this pressing or it's from this country. So it's got a little bit of different writing on it, or the label's got different writing. In some ways, what you're collecting is visual printed material rather than the audio contained in it.
Absolutely.
So when you own every one, you are owning something different. You haven't bought 200 copies of the same record. You've only bought 200 copies of the same record if you're planning to listen to it, but even that varies. But what you're buying is 200 very different things because they're all different. And the reason you're buying that next one is because it's different to the other one.
That's
so
correct.
In some ways you are buying. You're not buying. You haven't gone into a record store and gone, I'll have 200 copies of Taylor Swift's current album all pressed at the same place. That's a bit of insanity.
No,
but,
nobody
you know
does
what I mean?
that.
No one does that.
No.
So no one's collecting the same
Hopefully
things. Do you
nobody
really?
does
The way my mind goes, I go, no, they're not collecting the same record. Yes, it is collecting it. The music is the same recording technically, but everything is unique.
That's right.
You're collecting a bunch of unique stuff.
That's right.
I know that's the way I think of it anyway.
And that's the charm of the whole thing. And I mean, that's basically when you look at the posts that I still enjoy, like Valentin in Russia, when he goes into this zone when it comes to this obscure fucking presses from the smallest countries ever, like El Salvador or Bolivia and stuff like that. You never see the difference in these, because there's basically not that many who have 5 copies of one vinyl next to each other. That's when that stopped popping up. I mean, I talked about this with Frank in Australia earlier this week. He had somebody talked about the Aussie Solo vinyl with a hype sticker where it says $6.99, and Frank popped out a picture that's actually 2 different stickers. I was like, what the fuck? And I looked at the sticker, but the thing is, it's the same sticker. It's just a print. It's more close up in one of them. I was like, what the fuck is the difference? And I was ashamed to fucking ask about it from the beginning. I was like, I might need those glasses after all. And then I saw the whole thing was zoomed out, and I was like, there we go.
That's hilarious.
And I commented, and I bet you bought that one to just keep the better looking one and sell the other one. And he said exactly what I did until I saw they were different, and I was like, that's how it goes.
That's right. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
All right, so Per, let's before Nicholas goes crazy because he's got to get some sleep. He's got to work in the morning. Let's
that cares.
Yeah, that's right. Let's go back.
I'm driving. I'm doing a 2-hour drive in 5 hours and 50 minutes.
Oh no! So let's
go
back.
Is that by car?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
No
so
train.
No train. Yeah.
No train.
No train.
He's in the mountains. He's hang gliding. Yeah. So.
Yeah,
perfect.
Exactly.
No license there. It's just
right.
put on the bat wings and go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we said something special.
No.
Right?
Let's go back to the beginning and tell us how you got, how
Kiss.
and when you got into Kiss.
I did a Swedish podcast just some weeks back, and the first thing I ever had with Kiss was a Trax cassette with a Live 2.
What year?
And it was. This is like 79, 78, 79, maybe.
Okay. All right.
I was 6, 7 something, maybe 80. I'm not sure. But I got it from a neighbor, and his uncle recorded it in his own way. So it started with "I Stole Your Love" on side 1, and then he skipped some songs for some reason, and I was some airtime left on the tape, and it ended with 2 Rainbow songs, which is 2 very good rainbows for no reason. But there was empty space on the cassette. You fill it up with something. Perfect. So that was the first thing ever that I had with Kiss. And after that, it went to vinyl, my sister's boyfriend's vinyl. And it was Dressed to Kill, Hotter Than Hell, and Rock and Roll Over. That was or maybe Alive too, Alive as well as vinyls. So
let me ask you, that kind of mixtape that you got, that we would call it here in the U.S., Alive and Rainbow and all that stuff. I mean, was that the first time you had ever heard Kiss, or
first time?
That's the first. So, wow, interesting.
Yeah. And if you hear "I Stole Your Love" as the first song ever, you can't really go wrong there. I mean, it kicks off at the real good beat from the beginning, and it's just boom, 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 delivers. Yep. And the Alive 2 version is like solid, really good live version, in my opinion.
Right.
And I had to do some thinking before that podcast to really remember. I mean, the first thing I ever owned, Kiss, that I was Made for Loving You, Sweden 45, which is the most boring 45 cover worldwide, I think.
No, it's not more boring than the US because there's no cover.
No cover. Okay. Envy. Yeah. Okay. True. It is. That one, and the first vinyl I ever had was, I want to say, Creatures of the Night or Unmasked. That I want to. My mom and I bought like double platinum, the solos, and one other one in Germany for Christmas. That I remember. I like the best Christmas gift ever.
Right.
I think.
Right.
That was like, now I have more than one kind of thing.
Right.
But going in to buy myself, that would be 10 years old, 82, 83, something, would be by myself, Creatures or Lick It Up. And I think I got Unmasked before that,
right,
like in a birthday gift.
So you really came in like right around the same time I did. I was just a couple of years younger than you, and my first album was Destroyer, and I got it in like Christmas of '78.
Yeah.
But really, as I got just a couple of years older, it was Unmasked, Creatures, Elder. That whole period is when I started getting all the records.
But you love the Elder.
I do love the Elder. Yeah. Well, I got it as a little
that's everything.
I think you need to enter this thing.
Are you saying you got it when you were just a boy?
That's right. I was just a boy when I. God damn it! Why didn't I think of that?
Oh, I found. Is this it?
Yes.
Is that the Swedish? That's Sweden.
Yes.
I knew I had it in my archive, and the back was there you go.
Double platinum.
So nothing. Yes, exactly.
They did their own thing.
Yeah.
But we actually talked about them because that podcast is Marco who has it or talks the most. He's my age, maybe a little bit older. But Bernd, who's the guy who started the first Swedish Kiss Army, like the fan club in the 70s. So he's more locked into this. And we went into what he remembers seeing in the beginning that early, like for Japanese stuff. And I mean, to get Kiss stuff in the 80s, which would be my era, there wasn't a whole lot of them around. I mean,
no.
Going to a newsstand like you guys, like you have 40 covers. We have maybe one fucking Bravo or one OK with a semi-gay looking Paul Stanley on cover in a blue basket or whatever,
Right.
And it's two different types of things. So
yeah. In Australia, I just remember them coming back around. Smashers Thrashers was when they start to appear in magazines again, and Hot in the Shade kind of era. They started to come back, but yeah, it was a little bit quieter in those 80s, wasn't it? Like about 83, 84. It's still big in the US, but I didn't see them.
I wouldn't say they were big. Yeah, but
no.
They were still on magazine covers and stuff. They were still putting out records every year, So
I mean, they were biggest maybe here in 83, 84 something on because they played here in 83 and 84. And then they didn't play here until 88, which is my first gig. And then you have what's the next after that must be the reunion years. I didn't play here in the Revenge era or something. I saw that in the UK. I mean, it's very selective amount of chances to see them too.
Sure.
And there wasn't really out on covers, music programs. They were big like 2 years in the 80s in Europe, and that goes for all Europe and England as well. And where they actually played those tours. But yeah, I mean, I remember buying Unholy on CD single in '92. I was like, oh, Kiss released a record. I was like, what the fuck? It was just out of nowhere. And I was like, then maybe it's a tour. And then I remember a buddy of mine, we flew over for that one. And I mean, yeah, maybe it's just me who just zoned in on I'm buying vinyl instead, and just whatever happens, the other, like Kiss, the real Kiss, didn't affect me that much. But I didn't listen to that kind of music either. Like the 86, 87, 88 music is not my Kiss in a way. I still like a lot of the songs, but it's not my era. In that era, I listened to maybe more British heavy metal and more like 86. I remember the first time I heard Metallica in 86 on radio cast show, and I was like sold. I went back to listen to Metallica instead of, you see, you're on a different path. You're not going back for the glam rock. You're going for other stuff. So in that way, Kiss not touring here, and you're not hearing much about them. You kind of drop out in a way.
Sure.
But I still kept like the collecting part from being a fan, if you get what I mean. So the collecting part is still my thing, but a fan for new music or whatever, that was kind of vague in a way.
So you collected through that whole kind of down period for the band in Europe, you know.
Vinyl only.
Vinyl only.
Said, okay. 45s you started with. And then, like Nick said earlier, I mean, there's still plenty of stuff you want, but you kind of hit the dry spell, and there's nothing new popping up. Because I had like Record Heaven was my main resource, and a couple of other European record stores that had. This is pre-internet as well, so
of course,
so you're like, this is catalogs, letters or faxes or whatever to get these records. It took time in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, Goldmine magazine was our thing here. You know, if you wanted to collect anything vintage, you know, the microscopic lines, you'd almost have to. I mean, it was printed tiny, and everybody was, you know, putting ads in there and selling stuff. You know, and that's how I got all of my first merchandise, because I wasn't there, or I wasn't old enough.
No, me neither. I mean, and I didn't have any interest for it either.
Yeah,
in a way. I mean, I remember when I jumped on vinyl after 45s, and you start that classic one when you get the odd covers, the promo covers, the anything that doesn't look like the normal stuff. And after a while, I remember there was somebody else. We had the sleeping bag, the radio van. Even early on, it was like before Reunion. Even I was like, not my thing.
So you weren't collecting merch before then?
No.
Interesting.
It was far later. It's just another rabbit hole that just appeared from fuck all. I was like, what this? I'm going for this one. And so it just kind of rolled on in a way. And I mean, you have back then, apparently I had more common sense to understand that it's better to just go for one thing and concentrate on that.
Yeah.
Until I realized that now I'm not going to really find anything here, because if I find anything of the stuff I want here now, that's going to cost as much as all that stuff over there. You know, it's get harder to find stuff, and more expensive. So even back then, I mean, even if a 45 that maybe today go for 400 or 500 euro, maybe back then was 150, 200 and 250 euros. But then again, 250 euros back then was a shit lot of money.
It was.
So I mean, I remember the first time I said that to somebody in my family who just looked at me in the most insane way. Are you really stupid? And I know it was the Kissing Time from Portugal, the one with the pinkish looking Otranel cover.
Yep.
And I think I paid 375 or 425 euros back then, including shipping. And that's a ton of cash back then compared to now. And it's still the same price-ish, maybe, I think. I'm not sure. Maybe more. I don't know.
Do you hear that, Nicholas?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's
what
it was going. I think it was from where you touched your earphone, because that's your mic too.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's cleared up now. Okay.
Okay. So and that was a part of that podcast that we talked about how you came into what and when and this, and I just haven't kept track. Basically, I know I read in some of the books that I would never consider myself in collecting this, or I was always kind of called myself a vinyl guy, but I kind of just went off track here and there. Apparently, a lot of tracks, and just
I would say
got a ton of stuff from different things. And I mean,
when did you realize you went, oh my god, I'm now a merchandise collector? Like before it was I was vinyl and I got a couple of things and went and go, oh, now I've gone too deep and now I'm buying lots of stuff that people are
moving
offering.
boxes because I had no place to put them. I know the room down here, the one that's rebuilt in here, I had from the beginning. I had like a display cases, one wall, and that was really nice for like a year, maybe ish. And then he started to put piles within the showcase like this. And
story
then
of my life.
what's the point in that? And then it just moved all the stuff into moving boxes, and I built a shelf for the moving boxes, and I numbered the moving boxes so I knew where the shit was. And then it just somewhere when I moved home, I just realized it's just too much shit. I'm never really gonna be able to display this. I just bought, like Jason said earlier, you have a fantasy list and you just cross off. Got it. Next.
Yeah.
Next.
Yep.
You know?
That's it.
And so that's the story how it goes crazy when you start collecting Kiss.
All right. So
Anyway.
Well, I guess there's two types of collectors. Is the ones that you buying it to look at it. The other ones go you buying it to acquire it.
sure.
And you put it in the box and you go, oh, it's going to stand in my house for 10 years because there's no way in the next 10 years I'm going to have a room big enough to display all this. But it's okay because I've collected it. I've got it. Tick, yeah. But but then there's other people who go, if it's sitting in the box, why don't I just move this on? Like, what's the point of having this if I can't see it whenever I want? So I always find that's a weird balance. I never know where I sit with that one.
Yeah. See, I can't. I have a hard time getting rid of anything, even doubles and triples of things. Although I've done that recently to acquire a few new things. That's the only time I'll sell is if I'm trying to accumulate some money to pay for something else, like this box set here, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I sold some stuff to pay for that, you know. And
That kidney.
a kidney is one of them. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my left eye, you know,
It's like
but
my body doesn't work, but I've got this box.
That's right. But you know, I have the desire to buy all of this stuff and display it. And you know, we bought. Look, I'll be honest. We moved from a very small house and bought a very large house just so I would have room to display all this shit. And I still don't have enough room. And it gets chaotic in here. If you were able to see all this on this side of the camera, it's so fucking chaotic. I mean, I would love to have my shit set up like John 5 does. You know, I would love
I mean, that's the ultimate way basically to do it.
But who has a fucking...
I remember I saw you commented on that post with I think it was Pat that you tagged. There was somebody asking about how you store your vinyls. And I remember when I saw the early Kiss My Wax podcast, and Mr. Kentucky was still in the room. And the record, you know, the flip labels when you have,
Yep,
like a record store, right?
Mhm.
And I saw that, and I was like, what the fuck are these guys living in a fucking barn, or
yeah,
where do they store all the vinyl? Because I had that at one point, and I remember that shelf because it was in this room. It was like underneath you could put binders with magazines and paper shit, and on top you had the vinyls. And you could do, if I remember, 75 vinyls to an 80, depending on what, in depth, like this. And then you had
flip
maybe,
style.
yeah. And then you had, let's see, two vinyls on a meter, and you have 3 feet. So let's 7 slots maybe. We had a vinyl on that wall, and same here. That's 14 times 70. That's 700 vinyls. And when I passed like 500-600 vinyl, I just realized this is the worst possible way to have your vinyls. It's awesome, but you need a space.
That's right. And it's so funny you say that, because I just went and bought a new, storage cubby yesterday. Drove to Nashville and picked up one. So I would love to, I'm in a kind of quasi basement here. Some of the wall is under, of the outside wall is underground, but the top half of it, there's windows in here, and you can
Same
walk.
here.
So, but this was a big giant rectangle when this house was built. It's probably, I don't know, 1,200 square feet. I don't know if that means anything to you guys, but 1,200 square feet down here. But the previous owner had this built out, so there's like a bedroom and a bathroom in here now, and like this larger kind of shotgun shape,
like a small flat.
Right. It's exactly what it is. And so, I work from home, and so the bedroom is now my office, and that's where all of my vinyl is, and all of those promo items that I have hanging up on the wall that you've seen. I used to do the podcast from in there with my records behind me. And but I would love to have flip bin vinyls, because
who wouldn't, in a way? I mean,
but there's just not the room. No. So I've been buying, those cubbies, the Collect shelves from IKEA.
Yeah. IKEA is the best way to host it up, to be honest.
Yeah, and I'm buying, they come in all kinds of configurations: 4x3s, 2x2s, 4x4s, 5x5s. And I've got a closet in there, and I just went and bought a 4x3 because it'll slide perfectly in that closet and allow me to add another 500 records, So so just trying to fill every space.
That's how you get to think. I mean, the way I said it just now, I might come off like a prick, but I mean, the guys, if you collect selectively a little bit different vinyl or whatever, you're not going like hardcore, I'm going to get all these, then a flip box is the ultimate way to have it. But when you go off on a bender for real on vinyl, and you get like a ton of vinyl, you can't have it like that if you not live in a place like John.
That's right.
When you have a fucking mansion or barn or whatever, like you go 10 meters that way, and you hit the wall.
Mine's not as big, but I have the stuff I play as flip bin. But then anything that's just multiple copies goes into the like the side kind
the
of
little cupboards,
like Joe has. Yeah, exactly. So I go everything that I want to actually put on the record player. That's how I divide it up. But I guess if you're only kids, then that would only be like 24, 25 records. But if it was just one playable copy, so but I don't know how. I haven't seen anyone who collects every country then have it in flip bin.
No, there are definitely people like
that was the point of that.
I think his name Lee Michaels, I think, from Australia. He's got a beautiful
gorgeous one.
He's got a gorgeous setup, and he collects all countries, and he's in a big giant flip bin. In fact, I just saved a picture of it that he posted and showed it to my wife, and I was like, I'd love to have this setup, And
Christmas gift, 25.
Right. So, I don't know.
And of course, she says, "Well, go move in with him."
That's right. And of course,
Then you'll have that.
John has the flip
not a wife.
bands, but most
Yeah.
people like Pat. Pat doesn't just
Yeah.
collect Kiss. Pat collects everything on vinyl, and he has hundreds of
Yeah.
walls of
Walls.
vinyl
Yeah,
in
I know
cupboards.
the feeling.
Yeah.
And I mean that's a part of the, because we talked about this before. I know Arjen is a good example because he thinks like me. He looks for plastic sleeves for magazines that fits in a good way, so it takes less space, and you put it in a good binder, and it takes absolutely needed space, so you fit more in there. And he's same with vinyl. And I could never see the logic in a thing if I want to find out very fast if I have the Puerto Rican elder. That was a poor choice, but you get the point. If I go to Puerto Rico,
that exists.
Yeah.
let's move that to
I got a Puerto
Salvador.
Rican elder living next door. So I don't think we're talking about the same thing. Shut up!
Oh
my
fuck,
point.
that was
Okay,
funny.
so you go for the El Salvador, and you go to the El Salvador slot. If that's not an elder in there or above in Nick's apartment, you don't have it. That's easy, right?
Right.
Instead of just having a fucking 50 copies of the elder, that you need to pull out all of them or flip through all of them to find out if there's one from Puerto Rico or El Salvador.
Yes,
I never got that logic, and I get into that fight once many years ago. Or it wasn't a fight; it was more like a comment, like "This is way smarter" comment.
Yes,
and it just backfired, and since then I never started again.
Now, full disclosure, that's the way my records have always been. It's by record, and I just recently decided that's not the smart way to do it, because I'm doing exactly like when we do these episodes on records.
Yeah,
I'm fucking flipping through, going, which,
and
it's stupid. It's stupid to do it.
If you have two countries, it's perfect. But if you're going worldwide,
right?
You're gonna find out very fast that that's very not the smartest way to do it.
Yes, so I absolutely am going to redo mine for sure.
But again, whatever floats your boat. If you want to do that, do it.
Yeah. No.
Don't start the new world war on the Kiss front.
No, of course not. All right, so
do you know just very quickly with the vinyl thing, like the only thing that always looks big, again, being a visual guy, and obviously I collect my Queen ones based on hype stickers and any cover variants is the only things I collect. So when I see people with the labels on it, and then they put the name of the album and the pressing, and then sometimes you see the people and they do it in about like 42-point font. These white stickers that are covering like half the record. I'm going,
that's how you can see it from over here.
I guess so. But I look at them, I go, that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. It's about 8 lines of details. It's like, geez, I don't know, but yeah.
No, I agree with you, Nicholas. I think it's cool to have stickers on there that show the important information, but I don't understand.
The one I like the most, I think that was what's his name, the UK guy. He always have a ton of questions. No, Mike Hodson, maybe.
Mike Hodson. He collects the debut.
Yeah. He used to question a lot, and he have a label maker in a way that I asked him about. I forgot what it was now, but it's a smooth one because it doesn't come out like a normal label. It's laminated in a way. So if you spill on it or you put a wet finger on it or whatever, it doesn't smear.
Oh, cool.
It was awesome. And then I thought, okay, so he probably ordered this stuff in. But no, it came from one of those small dymo printers things. And it's like this. And you put all the info in there. Yeah. You can import pictures like the flag from each country or whatever.
Sure.
Smooth as hell.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. A little label like that, but one that takes up a quarter of the.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
I don't
It's like
need
it's like
glasses.
some of the Japanese
No.
obies where they like some of them get to almost half the cover by the time they have
Yeah.
that plus the bonus poster, and you're like, it's like half the obi is the entire
You need to
Japanese cover. Yeah,
Check to see if Ace is still in the band.
That's right.
I hate seeing that.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah, no. So there's many decisions on the way, but the IKEA one I can recommend to whoever, not because it's Swedish, because it's maybe the best record shelf out there.
They're really made, pretty well, and they're super affordable.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't cost much,
Yeah,
and
That's
easy
right.
to put together, and
Yep.
and they don't weigh a ton either.
Nope, they don't.
That's a good plus.
Yep. So yeah, I've got 3 of them right now. I have a 4x4, a 4x3, and a 2x2. Just trying to fill holes in my walls.
Yeah. I use them for magazines in the bunker as well. Very smart. Very nice.
I got pissed off,
it.
Nicholas, and I kicked all these holes in my wall, and I'm trying to cover them with collect.
Yeah. And that's another thing that's really smart with those. You don't need to secure them in the wall.
Right.
If you secure them in each other. So
That's
they
right.
don't go like this on the side. If you put like an iron bar on the back, you connect them 2 and 2, 2 and 2.
Mhm.
So it becomes like a fucking wall, basically.
Right.
You're not moving that.
Yeah, they're good. They're good shelves. So
Yeah. And don't do this if you live in a tent.
no, you can't do that.
No. It's not recommended.
So
Or a
did
balcony.
you grab a few things that you wanted to show, some special items?
Yes, I did.
I did. Let's do that.
I went with the choice. I think you said the favorites, and I have many favorites.
Of course.
So I went with unseen cool shit instead.
That's what we want to see. Unseen cool shit.
I figured people would be more.
How do you know it's
interested
there
in
if it's
seeing,
unseen?
Because the 2 things here.
I've never seen it either.
I have 1, 2, 3. I have 4 things here.
Okay.
That Nicholas Buckland have never seen. Ever. One of them I didn't know about 2 months ago. So this is going to be interesting. I said I saved some cool stuff. But when we did the Phantom book, after the Phantom book, where's the fucking camera? I bought stickers. And people are going to go like, are you serious? A fucking sticker? But when you collect Phantom and you have like, I don't know, 600 items with a Phantom,
Right.
and then you find another one that you've never seen.
Yeah.
The thing with this
I've definitely
is,
never seen that before. Never seen that before.
you've seen the poster like this, kind
Sure.
of, but it's the faces. So this is
Yeah.
the Swiss movie company. Swiss movie company. That's not Sweden, by the way, but it is located in Europe. Promo sticker. So this popped up like
Wow.
2 weeks
Wow.
after. It says a lot of tough stuff down there.
Oh, you mean after you finish the book?
After the book, yeah.
That.
So this is
You go,
not in the
"Damn it."
book.
Yeah. Okay. That's excellent.
So that's why I thought it would be a cool thing to show. I never knew
Wow.
about
That's
this one.
amazing. Yeah. I've
And
never
I
seen
bought-
that. Yeah.
I bought these stickers for a 5th sticker that I'm not going to show here. That's just kind of one of those that I had when I was a kid. And the photo of the auction or the group I bought, it was the shittiest picture ever, but I recognized the picture of the one I had as a kid. So I bought the lot for one reason only, and that was that. And I had a look at this, and I just, what the fuck?
What the fuck is that?
Yeah. So for all the vinyl guys out there, here's one for you that I would say, I think I asked an Italian friend, but he never knew. This one here,
The fuck?
it doesn't look that much, does it? It looks like the US one we got in the Kisame kits or stuff like that. But when you zoom a little bit, which way are we going there?
There you go. Oh,
Oh,
You
it's
see
got it's
there?
got writing there. Super LP.
Super LP.
Yeah. So this is the first pressing of the Italian Destroyer, the one that's impossible to find. This is a promo sticker for that release.
Wow.
And I was like, what the fuck? And that's 2 out of 6 stickers. And none of these are the ones that I bought for any particular reason. So it says like
wow.
Durium Records, Casablanca Records are going down here with a DA 13261 is the catalog number of that super LP. And it's just this explains so much when it comes to not explains. It's one of the best things with Kiss that we're popping up stuff that you go like, that's not real.
Right.
Because that's the general idea is going to be like, that's fake. And
Sure.
these days even more.
Well, I think because most people assume that we've seen everything now, but it's clearly not the case.
Oh,
there's
absolutely
always something extra that comes up.
I mean, we have. I'm not gonna. I think this is okay. I have a friend, Tommy Semino in New York. He collects ads exactly like me and Nicholas, but mostly concert ads, and he loved the New York ads because he's from there. So I have no idea. To be honest, I don't have it here, so I can't show it. But I scrolled about and I found a magazine. It's still going to be a secret that I wouldn't search for, and it didn't say Kiss in the description. But in some way, I just managed to open the auction and had a look at the pictures. And then you see a Live 2 ad for the record, just like the one in Rolling Stone magazine, like the one colored one.
Mm-hmm.
That's the basic one. This one here, they added a Live 2 faces on the side, and it says Madison Square Garden and 3 dates at the top. This is, for me, unseen.
Wow.
So I took a screenshot of this, sent it to Tommy, and his reply was like, kind of like Elaine when I found the next thing I'm showing. What the fuck? And I'm like,
Right.
Another one we haven't seen.
Right.
And that continues. So I asked the same guy. I bought that one, got it home, sent it to Tommy. He looked through it, and it was like, this is fucking amazing. And then there is a concert on the, 31st of December, 75, when they play with Leslie West and stuff on the New Year's Eve gig. So on that one, the ones that's in Village Voice, it's very rare as well, but it's seen. It says Leslie West and the other acts in the ad. This one here, it's 2 days before the gig, and it's only Kiss. So they took out all the other information about the bands,
interesting.
and they just put out the same ad with just Kiss. Don't miss out.
Wow.
And I sent that to him as well, and he was like, seriously?
Wow.
And then it takes 2 weeks, and he finds another Diplomat and another Coventry ad for the 73 gigs that I never seen, he never seen, I don't think anybody's seen.
Wow.
It's unreal. So when people go that far and say, nah, that's nothing, I've seen it all.
Yeah.
It might fit many bands, but Kiss ain't one of them.
No,
because
of course
there's
not.
new stuff popping up constantly.
Absolutely.
I mean, the ads ones is weird because a lot of the listings, as you know, the person selling it doesn't always either value any of the ads, or they don't even photograph all the ads. So you either know it's there, but I always wonder what newspaper, or wonder that edition of the newspaper that was around the time of the concert or around the time of the promotion. I wonder if that contains it, but the person who's showing that rare newspaper hasn't bothered to go, and he's not going to go, I'm not photographing 50 different ads for each collector out there. I'll just shoot. I'll just shoot the front cover. Yeah, exactly.
Front cover and maybe the headline story, like whatever political shit.
Sure.
Exactly. So they could be on page 45 a great Kiss ad. Yeah.
I mean, couldn't we deduce or assume that, at least in the States, every fucking market that they played in, there is a newspaper ad right around the time of the show, that there would be some kind of ad, even if it's just text, but there would be some kind of ad talking about
in logic
the show.
they would be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, some states are insane when it comes to promoting. If you go for like the Market Square Arena, I think they have a poster for basically every fucking gig there is.
Sure.
I think I've seen 15 different Ted Nugent ones.
Right.
The Kiss, I think Kiss is on basically all the gigs they did.
Yeah.
I think 77, 79, 82, 84, 85, 85, 88 maybe, not 84.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some areas or some states that given them a ton of love over the years, and some just couldn't bother.
Sure.
It feels a little bit like that.
Yeah.
So just because I showed this in the Swedish one, I'm going to show this one here too, in case nobody's seen my cover. I recently, now I know Jason has one, and I sold my 2 ones, but I found one again.
I can't believe you're about to show what I think you're about to show.
But we haven't seen this one.
Good Lord.
Because this one might be, I know why I brought this one on here is Marco's question in the other podcast is that if you find this vinyl, Nick, put it up if you Google it. I found a new thing about this one that I haven't seen before. Because we were talking about the ugliest record, and I my vote is still on this because it's really
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't find the words. It's there's many. It's a cover only a mother could like. I mean,
I looked up, not to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt, but
no worries.
I looked up the rest of the artists that were part of that series. Yeah, they're all bizarre covers like that. Just kind of
all psychedelic.
Yeah, I remember you
stuff.
shared those, so it's interesting. Yeah.
But the thing with the vinyl, I didn't see that. The way they displayed the best of logo on the cassette is different than the vinyl.
Sure.
I didn't see that until that podcast. And it comes with one of these small.
Oh wow!
Cute.
Oh, okay. But that was in the cassette, was it?
Yeah. All the Japanese ones have small text sheets, best quality ever. And I still actually remember this because, to rattle Alain's cage when it comes to stuff is, I mean, he's seen a lot of stuff, and he's not the guy who express super excitement for just anything.
Sure.
But when I saw this thing here, I just kept it silent, and I asked a friend to bid home, just whatever, go for it. I need this, go. So when I had it, and it was paid, and it was on the way to my guy, I sent a text, a small shot of the cover to Elaine, and it was bedtime for me, and he just woke up, and he was like, "What the fuck?" and a ton of exclamation marks with
Right.
Like, what the fuck is going on? And when I bought this, like I said to Marco, I bought it basically just to see if it was real. Because it could have easily been a homemade shit.
Sure.
Nobody knows. And I asked around. I asked a ton of friends over in Japan, and nobody ever seen it before. So if the vinyl is released, or the record is released 1982, right?
Somewhere in there. Yep.
I think it is. Who bought cassettes in 82 when the vinyl was like bigger than ever? We are 3 years away from, no, we even maybe 2 years away from CDs in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So the amount of these out there, it's like this Dress to Kill 8-track.
Right.
Or I could have shown that because I saw your post about the Dress to Kill 8-track. The first,
the Japanese 8-track.
Yeah. The first, I'm gonna save this for a book because I want to do a book on cassettes at some point. I have no idea. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's just boring. But cassettes is, I wouldn't nearly go as far as say cassettes is fucking more awesome than vinyl in a way, because the covers changed that much.
Absolutely.
It's not the same cover whatsoever. So much more different. It's very visual.
And the reason for that is because you're trying to fit a square cover onto a rectangle. So now they're designing their own top bits and bottom bits.
True.
It's because
around it.
If a cassette was square, it would just be the cover.
Right.
It's because it's long.
Kind of like a small CD.
Right.
True.
Yeah, exactly. Add our own art kind of thing. Yeah.
So for the next one.
Hold on a second, Per. So you've had 2 of those Best of Kiss cassettes, right? Or more?
No, one.
One?
This is the I had 2 vinyls that I sold. One to your friend and the other one to Mexico. So then I didn't have any vinyls.
Where did that picture come from that circulated forever that had the vinyl and the cassette together? I thought that was yours for some reason.
It is.
Yeah.
It's the second vinyl before I sold it together with this cassette.
Oh, it's with
and now
that.
I made a new one. Yeah. And now I made a new one just to
I misunderstood you. I thought you said you had sold that cassette and found another, and I was like, "What in the world?"
If this going is going to the same guy who bought from the beginning, which you know, and he really wants it, and I don't want to let it go. So it stays in Sweden to unconfirmed date.
Understood. Okay.
Very super quickly before you move them to, I just want to ask Jason, do you know whether the other artists' records from this series were as valuable as the Kiss one is
not even
to their
close.
collectors?
Not even close.
They're like $100 records instead of
or cheaper. Yeah, I looked them. I found them on Pop.
Cool.
I found them on PopPsych. So you know, sales that nothing. They're 30, 40, 100, maybe. I think there was one. I can't even remember who the artists are now, but one was a bigger artist, bigger.
Was it Rolling Stones?
Yeah, I think it was maybe Rolling Stones.
Is one.
Yeah,
might be one Bowie.
I think there's actually 2 of one artist.
Maybe Floyd.
Maybe 2 Rolling Stones or something like that. But anyway, I think
but
those got up into the $100 range, but not the $5,000 range for sure.
No, that's it's just weird. I mean, the only thing they have in common, other than it's the same series, it's whatever drugs the designer had his hands on. I mean, it's like, we need covers for these 5 records or whatever, how many there is. Can you wrap up something? I was like, I'm on it. This is the worst I could figure out.
Yeah. Have we got the official logo? Yes, we do. Don't use it.
Don't use it.
That's what it seems like. It's like, this is an official release. Have we got it? Have we produced Kiss records before? Yes, we have. Don't bother with it. Just do your own thing.
Oh, it's just it's the first thing that pops up. It's because the podcast here in Sweden had the ugliest. I think that was one of the questions, and the guy in the episode before me showed a cover from Mexico. There's some kid poured his heart out on a piece of paper and drew a Kiss thing that won the Mexico.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
that's an ugly fucking
single record. Yeah, the ugly for real. But this here is this is a different dimension of ugly.
Right.
This is because that was a kid, and in his eye, this was his favorite Kiss.
Sure.
What they were looking for. I bet the guy, or I want to say, this guy, he works with design. He clearly should be a welder or something else, but he works with design.
It looks like, I don't know if y'all had these toys, but it looks like a kaleidoscope kind of thing. Yeah,
The ones
Yes, yeah.
Mm.
This looks great. Let's make an album out of it.
Let's do a series.
A whole
they can
series
all be same in different colors and shapes. I hope he had some pills in the system when that came up. Jesus motherfucker. Yep. So the next one wasn't that fun, but it's fun anyway because it's
whatever that means.
I think we've seen this before. It's an invite this way. It's an invite for the Phantom of the Park. This was with the sticker. That's why this comes in here.
Oh, wow.
And the fun thing about this is that this, let's do there, right and left.
Uh-huh.
This is Bill writing the contact info to his contact in I'm suck at what I'm doing now. I see.
It's tough.
You
Okay.
gotta move it the
Yeah.
opposite way to what you think. Yeah.
So this is a UK thing because it says
Yeah,
Pi
for the first screening of the Phantom, and this was handed by Bill to one of the producers for ABBA. So it popped up it's his old invite. It popped up in a Swedish marketplace with all this info, and people were like, "Oh, this lead pen, so you can erase it." And I was like, "I must save this thing. This is idiots. This is fucking awesome." So he wrote there like, in Ring, maybe something town, New York, call Kristin Hall, Casablanca Records, Sunset 82, 85.
Wow.
And then it's in Swedish. Call you on Friday for tickets. Kissing, and then some signature from some dude. And then it says Monday, call Mike Yarrow, Hall Yarrow something, from Casablanca Records. And it's signed by, not signed by Bill, but it's Bill a coin. He did this fun
That's
thing up
cool.
here.
Yeah. That's cool.
So
I find it odd that they're promoting that they're promoting Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. Like normally it's all the 1980 Attack of the Phantoms overseas, but that's weird for Britain. So Britain was showing it in a library or something. Like, 'cause I didn't think there was any promotion for it out of the States, really.
It is
For the original Kiss Meets the Phantom, the NBC thing. So was that shown on? It wasn't shown on British television, was it?
Was it? I'm not sure.
No, I'm saying I don't think it was, because that looks like it's been shown at some kind of library. I'm just trying to work out what the actual event was.
It could be. Sorry, but the thing was, what I learned because I said this in the Phantom when we started this. I said this like in Kiss Collectibles early on, before I was tossed out by the previous Stasi dude, and I said something about Phantom going in the cinemas in the US, and he was like, "Never, no chance. This is like one way or the other. It's the other often." And I was like, "I'm pretty sure I seen like ads for cinemas and stuff."
Absolutely.
And so when we started doing, me and myself started doing research for this, and you see that it pops up everywhere, and you had to like go by, because most of them were cutouts. So the only way to basically see if it was an Australian ad for the movie or it was an American ad, you had to go by the phone numbers to see which way you were coming. And then you see phone number, city, and then you Google to see if they had a cinema or whatever called this, and you find everything on Google these days. So you can basically see exactly, not all the places, but many of the places in US and Canada where it was shown after the TV, they re-promoted it and they changed the name and it went for movies, like in Europe.
Right.
So there's so much around that movie that never pops up really, because nobody really care. I mean, the movie, I usually say, is the best worst movie out there. It is. It's one of those I can't really let go of it because it's so much childhood memories in it, in a way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, when we started that book, everybody should know that Alain fucking hates that movie. It's not that he dislikes it; he hates it. So convincing him to do a book about the Phantom with all the press and all the stuff took some convincing, but we got there.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it too. It's one of my favorite ones to do, to be honest. So,
I mean, I think objectively it's not a great film, but I think it's Kiss and it's the 70s. I think it's cool in that regard, in a retro kind of feel. Yeah.
I mean, it's not something you invite people maybe normal people to watch.
It was
Hey,
my
watch this, guys.
No.
it was my introduction to the band. It was the first thing I ever saw of the
Okay.
band, and
I wish I would.
so
It's just I'm not
You
sure
know.
when I saw that. Really, it came. It was released here in '85 or '86 as a buy now VHS.
Yeah.
But I think I saw somebody I knew had the HBO Japanese TV thing on a VHS, had also a copy of the Phantom, but it's worst quality you can ever think of. I mean, the TV screens back in that thing were like this, small ones, 14 by 14, and you watch it like binoculars to just see it all.
It was
is that Gene over there?
Yeah, it was reran in the early '80s somewhere on a station around here somewhere, and my next door neighbor's grandfather had a VCR at the time. You know, it was when the VCRs were two different
the
pieces,
big ones,
huge, and he recorded it, and that's how I watched
TV.
Off the TV, and it was probably, if I had to guess, I would say 81 or 82, because I remember the age I was when I saw it on the videotape. And me and my next door neighbor, we would go to his grandfather's in the next town, and we would watch it on that. It had the commercials and everything, and but it was a rerun of it. And,
yeah.
So I wish I still had.
I bought this one. This is the one I bought from a little record store at the time. So I don't know what year that was.
Yeah,
was that like the 90s or something, or late 80s or something?
I would say this is the German version of the UK version.
It was an import.
It's a BMG and it's a German SS.
Yeah,
that must have been late 80s.
Yeah, the good time. I remember buying the Good Times version on VHS that was released in.
Dynamite.
When was that?
Not that good.
Not that Good Times. No, not JJ.
Okay. I remember him in it.
The common that has Gene and Peter on the cover. The Good Times home video.
Which one is that?
And it's got Abner.
It's got
at the bottom.
Yeah.
That was really. I remember buying that at Walmart in. I feel like that was probably 86 or 87 or something like that when it came out in the U.S. on VHS. Yes, that one, Nicholas.
That one there must be that must be 70s stuff, right? Or
no, that came out in
early.
It was like
80s,
86
late.
or 87 or something like that in the U.S.
Same as Sweden. That's weird.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think a company, a couple of companies got licensed to it to issue it on VHS in the mid 80s, and it was released all in all kinds of places at that time. Yeah, that was
one.
That
one
never
that came.
That version definitely did. Sorry, go ahead.
The one you have there, the slipcase version. That's the most common one, and then you have the one that we use for rental. The one that came in like a flip box, right?
In a clam case.
Yeah, that's the word. So I bought like what's that? Maybe 2, 3, 4 months ago, maybe. I bought a beta version of that one, and I was like, "What the fuck? I never seen a beta version of this." And in my head, it worked like the clam case was beta size, but it wasn't. Right. It was the same case with a beta cassette inside.
Right.
I was like, oh, disappointed. In my head, I was like, oh, a baby case? I must have.
Yeah.
Okay, so now this is going to be just to destroy a little bit for the new owner of the other one. A while back, let's say 4 months ago, I found a coin thing I've been searching for forever on eBay, and this guy had 2 of them. So one is on the way to US as we speak, and this is before a coin, so it's only Botwell. Fucking, I must learn this.
Interesting.
Wow.
This one here. So we have a keychain. We have 2 keychains.
Yes. Yeah, they brought
And
out that
this.
plus yeah, so there was the Kiss Army and the Rock and Roll Over keychains, and then that one. Wow.
So it might be there's a logotype of this one too out there somewhere. But the guy I bought this off, he had 2, and he had like 5, 6 of them that he got from a retailer early on, and he sold the rest of them on expos in the 90s. And I saw this one many, many years ago in a magazine on top of a kid's head. So you can see the image clear, but I can't remember which magazine it was in. And I have searched many, many times to find this again.
Yeah.
But I can't. I need to start taking fucking notes because I gave up like twice. And so probably I will never know. But there is like that. I know there's a famous photo of the. Is that like the kid to what's it called? Bee Gees.
Mm-hmm.
There is like Barry Gibbs. His name is Barry Gibbs.
Barry Gibbs.
Singer. His son having a Kiss T-shirt backstage somewhere, or
I remember that photo. Yeah.
There is kind of like this one here. There's a kid standing like he's not in the middle of the photo. He's on the side, and you just ignore the middle of the photo and you go straight to the cap. But in these days, you couldn't do this and zoom in.
Right.
You have to like bring out the magnifying glass and just figure out what's this. So I knew it existed somewhere. If it actually was on sale or it was an in-house thing,
right?
I'm not sure, but I'm just happy to finally found it, and it's basically new. It's one of those paper. No, it's not. The paper thing is in the other one I sent away. It's just basically brand new.
It looks incredible.
Folded together like this.
Wow.
I mean, and that's 76.
Unbelievable.
Jesus Christ, it's 50 years old nearly.
Yep.
Nobody touched it. So the best item you have is going to be one of those things I couldn't pull the trigger on because it's too hard to choose. But what was fairly easy to reach, and something I bought last couple of years, was this that I, from a trusted guy.
Whoa.
And sadly, many gonna say maybe that's cool, but I couldn't see myself buying an unsigned one, because this is the version with the toddler Gene Simmons and the Peter Criss that has dyslexia and all that, you know. So they are. I don't know the guy. His name is Eddie Solan.
Mm-hmm.
He had like 5, 6 of these. I have 2 other friends in the New York area who has same signed poster, same signatures and everything. And I kind of want, when you buy one of those things, you want to find someone that you absolutely 100% sure it's a real deal.
Sure. Because
it's a pricey as fuck. And now I finally have it. Now I need to frame it.
Unbelievable.
That would be
amazing.
It's a good word of it. I mean, it's never been a favorite, but it's still like one of those unique.
It's a Grail item, you know, in the true definition of the word.
Yeah.
You know.
So that's
I quite like the design of it. even just as a poster.
Yeah, I mean,
nice. I just really like it.
Super boring, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. The last thing I have here. This is weird shit because I have no idea what it is, to be honest. I'm just as amazed as I was when me and Tommy talked about this a couple of years ago, and it was together with the Coventry poster. So this one here, I know like 99 point, including myself, never seen before ever.
What the fuck?
So if I go that way,
it's the photographer. It's photographer Bernard Vidal. That's his.
It's like a laminated kind of really good quality print, that's signed. It's not a magazine page. It's not a poster. You see the size of it. It's like
a promo card for the photographer. Photographer.
Yeah, it's for the photographer. It's exactly what it is.
You see here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it laminated? Was it stuck on something?
Kind of glossy, super glossy. It's been at some point. It's been here. It's tape marks.
Tape stuck on something. Yeah.
Wow.
So the Bernard Vidal agents and all the info down there.
Wow.
It's just an American thing with these images.
Unbelievable.
I know me and Tommy talked about this a lot, and we just try to see what it fits in history-wise. It's like a small promo poster kind of thing, but on what purpose?
No, we used to have it. We used to have it on magazines. We would have come into the picture editor those things with other photographers. Like, so fashion, there'd be one fashion photograph, and it'd have the thing. So I guess that's just to get more work.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You know,
like a promotion.
It's promotion for the. Well, it'd be from the PR company, or so from the agent, who would be his agent, and they'd send that out to maybe to magazines or to bands, and just go, look, he's photographed them. It's just to get more work, basically. But we used to have those almost the same size cards, but they were normally only in the fashion industry, I noticed. But then Bernard I think he was a fashion photographer first.
I was just going to say
maybe that's
didn't
why.
Just do music, right? He did.
I think he was mainly fashion before he did Kiss. So
because it's such a quality kind of thing. It's not cardboard, but it's like
heavy
the cover
heavy stock
of a tour book.
Yeah,
like the cover of a tour book. You know,
yeah. So heavier
like
stock.
The cover of Dynasty tour book, basically.
Yeah,
like heavy stock.
But it's better than an 8x10, like a normal.
Yeah.
Like the press kit ones, is it?
It's amazing.
It's hard for me to know because I can't see it.
It is, right? I mean, it's not my favorite era of Kiss, like for costume wise, but color wise, it's an amazing thing. And those sessions and those posters, that's like one of the 80s Kiss specials from Poster magazine in Sweden, which is extremely big thing. I know I had a friend of mine who was selling like his collection, like 95+% of all the posters in like no needle marks, no tears and stuff. And I know I asked John about it, and he was like, that's just another rabbit hole to go down. And especially now, because there's so many reproduced, it's not maybe done in a way that it's going to destroy the old magazine, but it's certainly gonna make it harder for the guys starting collecting those magazines now.
Yeah,
because there's too many of them, and they're very well done, and they look amazing, and they all are like 11x17 size quality magazines. But when you need to double check all the time if this is a 70s or this is a last week magazine, it kind of gets boring after a while. But otherwise, that magazine is number 180 when Poster magazine becomes Super Poster, like the German ones. And those 4 posters with text sheet on backs and 2 smaller posters makes that special. So that is 100% childhood memories for any Swede, basically.
Amazing.
Well, Per, that's we're 2 hours in, and Nicholas has got to go to bed. So I think it's a good place to cut it.
But I'm loving seeing this. So I think there could possibly be a part 2.
Oh, I could talk to you all day. So in 5 years we will.
I was just going to say that. So in 5 years, let's do it.
Will you join us for our second episode of 2024? Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So that same date, just 5 years
That's
ahead.
right.
5 years from now. Yeah. Exactly.
So, but no, seriously, man. We've been trying to do this forever, as you know, and we'd love to have you back.
It's been fun.
On.
It's always fun. I mean, it's like I said to the Swedish guys, you can talk Kiss 24/7 basically
24/7.
in a way when time is there. And I mean, the time delay we have now, if Nick not going up to work driving, this is a good setup time wise.
We need to do it on a Saturday. So he's up against a Sunday morning or something like that.
Yeah.
So okay.
There's plenty more to talk about.
Oh, there's tons to talk about. So let's plan to do it again. I'd love to have you back and just pick your brain, man. Because
I'll be here 24/7.
Awesome.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
No. All right, guys.
I'll be sitting here waiting.
Yeah. When is he
When
calling?
are we coming on? I just see that small clock going there.
All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one. The wrong ending.